Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody out there in the world. We are here in Spielberg, Austria at the Redbull Ring for the national circuit, the UKSR Round 5 MX5 Championship. My name is Michael David. I've got my colleague here in the booth,
Hi,
Tyler.
Michael. Cheers for
And
having me.
yeah, how you doing today, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Exciting racing here as we're about to get going here. We about 30 seconds left in practice. Then we got 10 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps each, and then after that we have a 35-minute final. Track temperature tonight, 43 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. They're going to be sliding around all over the place, and this track is not easy to keep it on the track. Definitely known for off tracks, whether you're in Formula One, Porsche Cup, or just regular old MX5s. But it is a very enjoyable track. It's got 3 great sections, a very short track, very short lap time, but the racing is going to be fierce. And I'm pretty excited to be here. Glad to join you tonight. I know you usually do this with somebody else, so I'm excited to be here, and thanks for having me tonight, Tyler.
Yeah, nice one for joining me. I'm usually the disembodied voice in the background talking to the team, so it's actually weird being in the booth for once. Speaking of a slippery track, we do have a very close championship tonight as well, if you want to give that a check.
Yeah, we can go ahead and go over those championship results right now. We have Alex Williams sitting in the top with 125 points. Murray Luker with 119 points is coming up in second. Jomi Scott is rounding out your top three with 101 points. Then we have Ollie Pimley at 99 points right behind. Fifth place is Bevan Thompson at 85 points. Stephen Hilton with 83 points is in sixth. James Cursip in seventh place with 77 points. Darren Sharple sitting on 74 points in eighth. James Parfit sitting on 72 points, tied with Dave Noonan in eighth and ninth. I'm sorry, ninth and 10th. And then 11th is Thomas Burzak sitting at 64 points. John Clark in 12th. Paul Lusto in 13th. Andrew Jones 14th. Ricky Pink in 15th. And 16th place is Cotter Craven. So, should be a very exciting night. We do have our qualifying about to get underway. It's 10 minutes. Each driver is going to have 2 qualifying laps. There's only 2 sectors here. Like we said earlier, it is a very short track here. As we're riding along, looking at James here, coming through turn 1. See if he can keep it on the track. There he goes. Now, this is generally the straightaway, but on the national track, you kind of just jump straight into here. It cuts out the hairpin. It cuts out turn 3 and turn 4 up the hill and down the hill, which is a great section. But here for the national circuit, we're just going to go ahead and cut all of that out. We see James got a little loose there. Get my track map up here. I think there's only 4 or 5, there's only like 5 or 6 turns here on the national circuit.
Yeah, it's an extremely tight circuit, and the issue is every single corner gets you an off track pretty much, especially the last 2. So it's going to be very tight to see who can try and keep it under that 14x limit tonight and try and get through to the try and get through by not having to get a penalty.
Yeah, no, it's especially turns 5 and 6. It's very easy to get off tracks there. You try to carry as much momentum as you can, especially through turn 6, as that's leading into the only real main straight. But it's so easy to get wide anywhere in that little that little section right there. Easily put a tire off, and it's actually pretty easy to get a slowdown penalty there going in between 5 and 6 as well. So as we see James coming around on his second lap, this time he seems a little bit tighter through 3 and 4. And we have Alex Williams has already put in his fastest lap of a 1 minute and 0.65. Jamie Scott right behind him there, about half a second off. So Alex Williams is definitely not only running away with this championship, but running away with the pole position so far this evening.
Yeah, we did see quite a few getting 59s when they were in practice, so it's possible that we'll see him try and get in there in the last couple of laps. But it is only a 2-lap qualifying session, so they have got to get in fast. So we see James put it second.
Yeah, that was a great lap by James. He's only 1/10 off. 1.26 off the lead pace of Alex Williams. And 59 seconds there. Yeah, that's going to shuffle up the order there. We had three people right there at the just a moment ago going to the 59s. Bevan Thompson is currently on provisional pole. Paul Lusto in second place. And Alex Williams also in the 59s in third. Jomi Scott moved up ahead of James Parfit here for fourth place. We saw James' second lap there, so James is in fifth. Aaron Sharples just coming in sixth place so far. We still have a few more drivers on the track right here. Murray Luker, Paul Lusto, Jomi Scott, and Dave Noonan are all on track right now as we follow along with Jomi Scott. Coming through turn 3 into turn 4 here.
It's worth noting they have completed their laps. They're just practicing currently.
Okay, so these laps are not going to be counted. So everybody has a time set on the board, it looks like.
The only one who could do another lap is Sean Clark, but he's in the pits, so he will not be able to do one.
Okay, so we see Sean Clark sitting down there in 10th place. Currently sitting on a 1 minute, 1 second, .068. So Sean will hope that he can improve that for race pace, as we see Bevan Thompson is going to have our provisional pole. It was a great lap there, 59.397, followed by Paul Lusto, a 59.796. So almost 4/10 off the pace there from the first to second place, and then Alex Williams coming in third.
Yeah, I did recall you saying that Alex was running away with it a second before it happened as well.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. It looked like he was running away with it. I believe he had about a half a second gap from first to second, and all of a sudden we had three people drop 59s, and that went right out the window.
Yeah, the issue is how consistent can you be in this track, especially with the off tracks and with how difficult the last two turns could be to get precisely every time. It's going to make it an extremely close race. I don't think we're going to see them lap times or race, that's for sure.
Yeah, I really do think we're going to see some very exciting close racing here. Like you said, those off tracks are brutal as we follow along here with Dave Noonan, who's also going along just on a practice run, as we had discussed earlier. Sean Clark, the only one that's able to put in another lap, but he is currently in the pits. So Dave Noonan, he's... wonder if he was trying a practice start there, because it seems like he's pretty far off the pace, even though he's only coming through 3 and 4 right now. Unless that timing is incorrect, but it's showing him as at a minute 37 already, so I wonder if he tried to do a practice start there.
It would explain it. I think he was possibly having that I went AFK for a moment and then came back, but we can't really be sure.
Got real wide coming out of 5 there. You really got to be careful. Oh, and that is definitely going to give him an off track. So, but yeah, between 5 and 6, I apologize. Between 5 and 6 it's so easy to get out wide there. You're trying to carry as much momentum as you can, and it's so easy to just get that middle of the car just over that line just a tiny bit, and all of a sudden, not only do you have an off track, but you have a 1 second slowdown. And then you got to carry that all the way down the main straight. So it's extremely frustrating if you do. Because you're trying to maximize your speed down that straight, and now all of a sudden you got to lift. So
yeah,
it's going to be
it's going to be more prevalent in the race when we actually start to get to the point where slipstreams comes in, because the Mazdas are very strong on the slipstream. And while there isn't that massive run from turn 2 to turn 3 anymore, there is that run from the last turn to the first turn where I reckon most of us are going to happen tonight.
Yeah, I believe there is a lot of overtaking to be done into turn 1, but there is also great overtaking into turn 2. I did notice that I ran a couple races here in the Porsche Cup, and some of the best spots that I found personally was getting close into turn 1 and then making the move in turn 2. You do have to set up that exit out of turn 1 very well, though. But like you said, carrying that momentum down through 6 and down the straight is also a great opportunity right there.
If you've got the off track to use, you can maybe try and use that to your advantage and get the good run on the guy as well if you can. But obviously, with defaulting next for 35 minutes, that is a very risky move to take.
You also have to, like I said, be very careful of getting a slowdown penalty there. Because sometimes I feel like if you just sneeze on the line, you know, you're getting a slowdown penalty.
It's worth noting that we had a latecomer into the race. Ollie Pimley's just arrived, so
All right,
he'll be
Ollie
starting
Finley.
last, but he will be making it.
He's not gonna. Yeah, he doesn't have enough time to go around for a quality session. He might have some time to just get a little bit of practice in, though. See if he decides to jump on the track. So that is going to give us 11 entrants. And so far, it looks like we have our grid set. As we see Dave Noonan continuing to just kind of just lap around, just get a little bit extra practice in. That beautiful light blue livery right there. Always been partial to blues. It
I
is my
have
favorite color.
figured out that the timers is not restarting. That's why it's just a long lap time. Which is now
Well,
on
that would, yeah,
almost
that was,
5 minute.
I noticed that at the 3.5 minute mark, and I thought I was losing my mind there. So I'm glad you explained that.
We are sim racing, so it's possible we have done that as well.
Well, it's not very hard for me to lose my mind. So we got about 9 seconds left, and then I believe we'll have a short warm up, and then we'll go into our main. So this is plenty of practice for these guys. They'd already been out there practicing for about half an hour. This should be
It's
good.
worth noting, usually we do skip the warm up, at least in a way.
Okay.
But we'll see if
Okay.
we do it this time. Maybe they'll let it in because it's only short lap time, but we'll see going into it.
It is only a 5 minute warm up, so you see a couple cars coming on the track here. We see the battle for zeroth. Never heard of zeroth before.
Yes.
Interesting number. Is that like infinity?
Yes, infinity time in the warm up track.
Once again, we're following along with Dave Noonan. It comes up the hill, comes into turn 2 here. This is a tricky little section. You got to get your braking correct. Very easy to lock up the tires. Carrying enough speed, you can almost, instead of making it one turn, it's almost better to make it a double apex. Gives you a better entrance into turn 3. You have more acceleration out of 3 into 4 and up the hill. If you can manage the double apex, which I'm sure these guys can. But it just, even though it looks like it's just a simple, oh, Dave got real wide there. Even though it seems like it's a simple turn, and it is a little off camber, and it is definitely downhill. So it's easy to lock up and lose time here.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ravage in the way from Spa, in the way it kind of presents itself, because you always think it's going to end, and it carries on a little bit longer, and you just kind of catch you out a bit sometimes, especially when you settle into a rhythm.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying there. Follow along with James here, number 10. I didn't know that James actually knew how to drive a car. I thought he just knew how to talk about cars. This is the first time I've ever seen him race, so I'm kind of excited for this. See how he does.
To prepare you, he does enjoy defending more than attacking, as I've watched from the previous races. There was a couple of situations where he was getting into a battle with somebody. He defended perfectly for about 7 laps or something, and then going into the next race, he was attacking somebody and took him out, unfortunately. I don't remember who that was, but it was a bit of a chaotic situation. Wasn't really anyone's fault, it was a racing incident, but we can still give him for it.
Any chance that I can to give James a hard time, I'm all about it. So as we see, James here is that Alex Williams that's right behind him.
Yes, it is.
Do apologize. I am learning everybody's name. I'm learning everybody's car, so just bear with me here. Is going to be a very exciting race, though. I can already tell as we see a couple cars working on there, working on trailing, getting ready to draft. You do have to lift off a little bit in these corners when you're in the draft because that draft is so strong with these MX5s.
You'll be cutting the grass there for everyone. That's very nice of him.
Hey, it's got to be done. It's Wednesday. Wednesday's grass cutting day. As we see a spinner there. like it was Murray Luker that had a spin there.
I believe so, yes.
Nope, Alex looks like he's blinking a little bit.
He has had the odd blink in previous races, but they've not been too significant. To be fair, the usual way this goes is, I'm sure anyone's watched before will be aware, but usually it's like a 5-way battle between for P1 for the first few laps, and it kind of settles down, but it's always engaging. It's a brilliant experience. It's a brilliant race to watch.
Well, it's a great track too. I'm very excited for this. We got 48 seconds left in our warm-up, so we should be getting started here momentarily as we see Ollie Pimley. Sorry about that, Ollie. Ollie Pimley putting in a 1 minute and 3:88. So that is he definitely needed some practice. He came in a little bit late. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid in 11th place. But looks like he's starting to settle into a groove here. Currently 7th fastest overall.
You saw some smoke there from somebody that must have made a spin previously.
Yeah, I don't think I caught that one. I'm not sure who that was.
Bevan just had a minute off there.
Bevan had a moment. Do we have any? Oh, well, we're getting the checkered flag here, so we should be coming to the grid momentarily. And that's it. Warm up over, qualifying down. Got our grid ready to go. Starting off in first, Bevan Thompson, Paul Lusso in second place, Alex Williams in third, Jomi Scott in fourth, James Parfit fifth, Darren Sharples in sixth, Murray Luker seventh, Thomas Burzak in eighth, Dave Noonan in ninth, Sean Clark 10th, and Ollie Pimley in 11th place. As we wait here for all the drivers to grid in, we got 11 drivers ready to go here at the Red Bull Ring here in Austria. And it is going to be an exciting race as we have 35 minutes.
Who's your take for the win today?
I don't know because I don't have any. I'm gonna go with James. James is my boss. You know what? Let's go, James. See, we're waiting on one more. It looks like Dave Noonan, who has just gridded, so we should be seeing the lights come on momentarily, and they have just come on. See the countdown, and we are racing. Here we go. Looks like everybody got a clean start for the most part. A little bit of wheel spin there in the back. You see Bevan Thompson, Thompson, getting off to a good start here, blocking the outside and cutting to the inside. Looks like Paul Lusto falling back from second into third. Alex Williams up into second place. Jomi Scott in fourth is under attack already by James Parfit as we come into turn two. James taking the inside corner there, and is he going to be able to hold on to it? It looks like he will. Coming into turn three, he makes the move. So James already up one spot.
He must have heard you praising there.
Hey, I'm trying to get a raise. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. As we see, Alex is right on the bumper of Bevan Thompson, and shortly thereafter we have Paul Lusto. As we see Bevan getting a little wide there, getting a little squirrely. Now, are these open setups?
Yes, they are.
Oh, Bevan got real wide there. James and everybody. Oh, Bevan, I think we had a Bevan had a moment there. As James puts, James and what was that? Paul have a coming together. That's not how you wanted to start the race, James. You made the move go as we see him going too wide, two in a row. Ollie Pimley already up into 5th place, back from 11th. We see he's got Murray Luker on the inside. Who's going to have it? Looks like Murray's got the inside line. Murray is going to hold that position as Ollie falls back in the line to block off Dave Noonan from taking advantage. We see right up above them, Thomas Barzik and Murray Luker are fighting it out.
I just want to point out, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there is a bit of a charity bet between James and Dave currently to see who can get the most points in the championship. Currently they're both tied going into this last race, so James is off has cost him. Yes, it is. This is the finale.
Oh, wow. Glad to be here. Yeah, James is definitely fallen off, but he is not too far back from the pack. He still has an opportunity here to catch that draft if he can make up some time here. As we see everybody kind of falling into line here. We see Thomas Barzak, I apologize, and Murray Luker likes to jump on the inside coming into turn 2 a lot, and it gives him a good chance at a run here down the inside of Thomas. Is he going to be able to make the move? He is, and but Thomas is coming back. A little over under, but it looks like, yep, it looks like Murray's going to be able to make the move stick, and so is Ollie following Murray along. Ollie up into 5th place, Murray Luker into 4th. Darren Sharples in 3rd, and Jomi Scott and Alex Williams are running away from the pack in 1st and 2nd. We see here we are now about 4.5 minutes, or 3.5 minutes into the race. Yep, we're going to go ahead and go for that replay. We see here, Bevan was getting loose here. The cold tires first lap, he gets a little bit outside on the curb there. He's able to save it in the first half, but just goes all the way around here. Forces the 2 cars behind him outside, who James and I believe who's in the Gulf there. Was that Paul Lusto?
Yeah, Paul Lusto.
Yeah, Paul Lusto didn't have any place to go. James didn't have any place to go. Unfortunately, looks like Paul Lusto lost out the most on that one, as James has moved up into 8th place. He heard you telling him that he can't make overtakes, so now he's trying to prove you wrong.
Yes, I do feel a bit called out by this now. He has also caught the draft, it's worth noting as well, to Dave, so he'll be catching up now. The winner of Dave and James is the winner of the bet, remember, as well, so it's a great battle here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great battle coming down the main straight as we cross the start-finish line. Murray Luker with a 59.468. That is currently our fastest lap. We see Alex and Jomi just going by there. Follow along with Thomas here in 5th place. So he got back by Ollie Pimley. As Ollie looks on the inside, we'll see if Ollie can make the move stick. Ollie is down the inside, and that is door open. I'm coming through. No questions asked. Ollie into 5th place again. We see James on the outside coming to the inside on Dave. James is able to easily make the move through turn 4, and he is gone. He is already putting the gap on Dave, but Dave does have that. Oh, as we come over here to Darren Sharples. Darren's trying to make a move here on Murray. See if he can catch the draft down the straight into turn 1. See if he makes the move in turn 1 or if he waits till turn 2.
I believe that was Murray getting past Darren. In fact.
Oh, that was Murray getting past Darren. Oh, okay. I apologize there. We see, yep, looks like James is catching onto the back of Thomas now. Does have that draft. It's not too far back, about 7/10, 6/10 almost. And we'll see how much he can gain here through turn 2 and 3 and 4. You can gain and lose a lot of time through here. You can burn up your tires very easily, get a lockup. But this is, in my opinion, one of the most important sections here on this circuit, on the national circuit, that is. So he's already closed up to half a second, 4/10 almost. James is a man on a mission. I guess he was not happy about that incident, and he's doing everything he can to make up for it. As we see, Paul Lusto is out of the race. I thought they had a fast repair. What happened with Paul?
Sorry, but now it seemed to be him just having an issue with the car. So he was called it a day on the side and then just packed it up. It's unfortunate because he's been great all season when he joined back middle for a season. He's been good to join, but unfortunately it's just a matter of something that doesn't go your way.
Yeah, unfortunately for Paul, he is sitting on 53 points in the championship, but he's not going to be able to move up any further with today being the final day. You see here, Thomas is starting to have to really defend on James. James is on a mission. He says, I am not worried about Dave. I am going to win this bet. And Dave, you are the one that's going to be donating to charity. Jumping on right on the back here. He's less than 2/10 down. He's trying the outside. I don't really think you can send it on the outside through turn 5 too easily. He's going to back off. Just hold it on the inside here. He's got some damage. That's his wing or his mirror hanging off. But he doesn't care. He doesn't need to look in his mirrors. He's got 5th place. Oh, I'm sorry, 6th place from Thomas Barzak. moving up back into the top 6 as we see Dave coming into the pits.
There is no
Are they?
required stop for this, so I don't
Okay,
know if that must be damage related.
that is exactly what I was about to ask you if they were are required to have a pit. So I assume they are fueled up for the entire race and don't have to worry about tires unless they want to take a tire.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, we see Jomi Scott is sticking to the tail of Alex Williams, but has been unable to make a move yet. Alex has been out front since about lap 2. We see him blinking a little bit. That's not good. Hopefully his connection can calm down a little bit. I believe was it Alex that was blinking earlier that we had that you stated.
Yeah, it seems to be an issue it has sometimes, but it doesn't appear to be too regular. It just comes in waves a little bit, and it doesn't appear to ever have interrupted the race at all, so that's always good to hear.
He looks like he's fine now as we see Dave is still in the pits. Everybody coming down. Murray Luker is currently in 3rd. Darren Sharples in 4th. Ollie Pimley all the way up from 11th place in 5th. James Parfit moving up to 6th place after falling back on that turn 6 incident in the first lap. We are already 9 laps in, 26 minutes left of this final. We've already seen some very exciting racing here, and we see these first 2 cars are really starting to pull away from the rest of the pack. Murray is back about 3 seconds now, with Darren Sharples another second back to him, and Ollie is already another 1.2 seconds back from him. See James 2 seconds back there, so the field is starting to spread out a bit. I think the closest battle we have right now is Darren Sharples on Murray Luker. Yomi Scott is trying to stay in the draft of Alex Williams, and Thomas Barzak is not quite ready to give that 6th place up to James, although it does look like James is now starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, it just seemed like the calm before the storm here a little bit. You can always feel people close enough to each other to be challenging each other, but not close enough to be constantly passing each other. It's always scary like that when you're ahead, because you know at any point if you make a mistake they're just coming past you. It's always, you have to be focused on constantly.
I think that was the closest we've seen Jomi coming through turn 2 there, but he has lost a little bit of that ground that he just made up through 3 and 4. See how strong the draft is. The draft is very strong. Coming up the hill, coming down the hill, and then down the main straight. So even though there's only one real actual straight in this lap, there are certain sectors certain areas that draft is very strong, especially in this MX5.
Yeah, and kind of to say it's a pleasure to be commentating with you, Mr. Yoda. I'm a big fan. We are seeing Ollie dropping back here towards. Looks like James is hunting him. Oh, Darren, apologies.
Darren is right on the back, or I'm sorry, Ollie is right on the back of Darren here. So Darren had been running out, but it looks like Ollie's coming to the inside, turn 2, exactly where he's made his move earlier on multiple different occasions. Ollie moving up into 4th place. That is moving him up 7 positions from his start. Who needs qualifying when you can just be Ollie Pimley? Oh, and Alex has got Jomi all over his grill. His rear bumper is just... Oh, there we go. We're back on it. Not sure what happened there. We see Jomi is kind of backing off a little bit coming down the main straight. Is he going to be able to catch right back? Oh, no, it's all good. Looks like, yeah, Jomi had to back out a little bit there. The draft is pretty strong. It's bringing him back, but I don't think he's going to have an opportunity here to make a move into turn 1. We'll see how it works on turn 2, though, as we see Murray Luker is just kind of sitting out there by himself. 3 seconds ahead of him, 2.5 seconds behind him, kind of in a no man's land, along with Darren Sharples. Oh, I'm sorry, along with James Parfit, who's kind of driving on his own right now, and Thomas Barzak as well.
Now, it is worth noting that when it comes to the championship, currently Alex will be winning. Murray is in 3rd place, needs to kind of get up a little bit to them. But in the 3rd and 4th place battle, Yomi and Ollie are battling for that. So currently Yomi is also taking the 3rd place as well.
Oh, it's Yomi. I apologize. Like I said, I'm learning everybody's name here, so I didn't realize it was pronounced Yomi. So I've been saying Jomi.
I don't think he minds which pronunciation it is, but yeah, if you see it, Darren has caught back up to Ollie as well.
Yeah, it's hard to break that draft. Even though Ollie made the move a couple laps ago, he hasn't been able to really break away from him. But Yomi is very close now. Let's see if we can go back up to the leaders real quick, because it looks like Yomi has a chance to make a move to the... No, he's just not quite there. Alex is just so much stronger through that straight after turn one. Just able to keep that gap, and then coming through 3 and 4 as Yomi is really starting to fall off there. He had it down to 2/10, and now he's back to 5/10, half a second.
It is worth noting your man of the hour is now back up to fifth place.
Yeah, James is right on the back of Darren Sharples. He has been making ground up left and right. He was about 2 seconds behind. Now he is about 2/3 behind. He is looking on the inside, trying to see if he can make Darren nervous. A little bit of mind games going here. Right up the inside. See how strong this draft is for him. About 1/10.5. He's got. Gonna kind of feed to the outside. Swoop back to the inside. Darren's got that covered off, but is Darren going to be able to hold it through turn 2? As we see James has the inside line. Is James going to go for it? Is he going to send it? He is going to try, but there's not enough room. I think Darren's going to be able to hold it through this lap. James is not letting go of that back end of the car, though. He is still there. He's letting him know that he's not going anywhere. Right up on his tail. That draft is going to be super strong coming up the hill. You see James looking out the inside. He's going to be able to make the move into 5. No, he's not quite there. Not quite there. He has caught up, though, and he gets a little loose coming out of 5. Down into 6 is... Darren gets wide there. That should open the door wide open for James, unless James has backed off. That looked like James backed off a little bit.
I don't know if James thought he forced him off a little bit there and was just trying to play fair. Maybe he just thought he had the pace out of the last corner.
Oh, James really going for it on the inside of 1. That's a tight place to try to pass. I would have backed out and tried to make the move into turn 2. I really feel like turn 2 is the best opportunity for overtakes.
Yeah, Ollie appears to have taken a reprieve and made a run for it at this point as well. He's now 2 seconds ahead of Darren.
Yeah, well, with these two battling it out, it's definitely going to slow them down, especially with those off tracks. And James having to back off to let Darren back on at the track. Yeah, that's going to give Ollie a nice opportunity to just get up the field and get away from these guys. You see, Murray is trying to hold on to the back of Yomi. James really taking it now. Is he going to be able to make the move stick this time? He is in front of him, but is he going to be able to hold it? Got a nice little gap, but that draft is going to kick in, and we see Darren coming back at James on the inside of 1. Yeah, he thought twice about it. Not quite enough room there, as James has got the move done, and is he going to be able to hold it through 2? It looks like he is. He's got the door shut. Job done. James Parfit up into 5th place.
We saw similar mind games from Darren there on the inside, just showing James that he's there, showing him he could make the move if he wanted to. While we're here, we are going to take a quick look back at the pass between Bevan Thompson on Bartek as well, as he gets lives at the outside there. Was inside Bevan trying to get back through the pack, see if he can get back to the lead towards the end, or...
Yeah, it looks like he just got a little bit wide there, but Bevan opened the door. I think Bevan is going to be a little too far back. We have 18 minutes and 50 seconds left, but that first lap incident really hurt him. Although he is not too far back off of Darren Sharples now that we look at it. We've seen James has made some moves. Let's see if Bevan can move up into the top 5, top 6 here.
Yeah, so far this race seems to be less on recovery. We've had Ollie recover from the late join and having to get through the pack at the start of the race. We've had James with his incident with, unfortunately, with Paul Gustow, with the crash outside of the exit of last turn. And now we're seeing Bevan Thompson getting back from his little spin in the second corner. I think he was underestimating how cold the tyres would be into them 2 corners, as he seemed to get out into both of them. So it's good to see him better to calm those tyres down and get back into the battle again.
Yeah, sometimes you can really psych yourself out, especially with some cold tires early in the race. You got to be confident, but you can't overdrive the car that early. We see Yomi is right on the back of Alex now, less than a tenth. As they come into turn one, Yomi had to back off a tiny bit, but is he going to get the slipstream in the inside to turn two? This is for the lead. Yomi on the inside. It looks like he's got the line. Is he going to be able to hold it? Oh, Yomi and Alex going side by side there as Alex is able to hold it on the inside. Is he able to? Oh, Yomi back up the inside. Turn four coming up the hill. Who's going to have the better line through the inside on turn five? It looks like Yomi's got the move down, but Alex is not too far away, and this is bringing Murray Luker right back into the frame here.
Yeah, Murray's been buying his time, waiting for something like this. He's been patiently setting in lap times, just kind of settling into the car, and now he's finding them battling. He's going to get back up there. Yomi has done brilliantly to keep pace with Alex Williams today as well, considering Alex is usually a mile ahead of the rest.
Alex is looking on the inside of turn one, trying to get that position back. It looks like he's going to have it on this lap, but all of this infighting is going to bring Murray closer and closer and closer. Murray might actually be within the draft range now.
He is, safely.
He's definitely going to be excited about that. Murray Luker sitting second place in the championship standings, 119 points. Alex Williams up in first, obviously, 125 points, and Yomi Scott. So these three are the three leaders of the championship and the three leaders of today's race here in Austria at the Redbull Ring.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that the championship's not decided yet either. Alex, if he does not finish in the top three, I believe it is Murray that wins the championship, which is always a daunting task when you've got a three-way battle towards the end of the race.
It's going to be a safe drive for Alex from here on out as we enter just under 20 minutes gone. 16 minutes left. 15 minutes and 45 seconds to be exact, as we see James is right on the back of Ollie. Didn't take him too long to get up there. He's looking on the inside of turn one, and he's already got the move done. Great pass. Using that draft to his advantage. James Parfit up in the fourth place. As we see Ollie is going to try to come back at him. Hold on to the tail of him. We'll see if he can make anything happen through 2, 3, or 4. And this is bringing Darren on the inside. Darren is looking for an opening. Ollie is going to have to back off of James' bumper to block a little bit. And this might release James. Now they are quite a bit back from the lead pack up there. James sitting in fourth place is 11 seconds down from Murray Luker. So this is going to be the battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth unless something happens up front. We see Alex has gained about a 6/10 advantage over Yomi and Murray. Murray is starting to get on the back bumper real close to Yomi. Murray is getting very close here to Yomi. I don't think he's going to have room to make the pass on this lap, though, unless Yomi makes a mistake, which I don't think there's too many mistakes to be made between these three. They are definitely dominating the championship.
Yeah, you have to say consistency is key when it comes to the championship, and they've all shown it when they are in the top three, all over 100 points when it comes to the last race of the season. We are seeing quite a lot more battling throughout the race here. I was right about the calm to the storm prediction, wasn't I?
Yeah, no, that's definitely the truth here, as we see the mid pack is really starting to go at it, and then we got your top three that are trying to battle for position. So we do have multiple different spots here, as we see Bevan is starting to get on the back here, Darren Sharples, and he is gonna be wanting a little bit of this action up ahead of him. He's trying to move his way back up, just like James Parfit has. We ride along with Murray here, and these three are very close together, less than a half a second separating the three of them. See here, everybody looks to be nice and kosher through turn 2 into turn 3. And this is Ollie Pimley right on the back of James. So Ollie has not let James go. He is still trying to battle for that fourth spot. James is trying to hold him off. This is a great fight here, as Ollie is about 3.5 tenths back. And we're going to jump back over to Yomi. Yomi is right on the back here of Alex, and Murray on the outside. Does Murray have an opportunity here? Not quite far enough up. He's a little too far back, but this might be a good chance coming through turn 1. He's right there. Is he going to be able to pop on the inside? Not quite enough. Not quite enough, as we do see Yomi does get a tiny bit loose, but not very much. These cars are very slippery. The open setup here as we jump back to Darren. Darren is trying to hold on to the back of Ollie Pimley there. And he's got Bevan Thompson breathing down his neck. 3 of those cars are very close together as we get a little bit of a blink from Bevan. James is unable to look in his left mirror. It's still hanging off. Needs to get a little duct tape for that, little Gorilla Glue. Get that fixed up so he can see all these battles going on behind him, because there's quite a bit of action right behind him. I'm sure he's aware as we jump back up to Yomi. Yomi is trying to jump up the inside, just like Alex did to him, inside turn 1. Yomi's going to get the job done. Is Murray going to be able to follow suit? No, because Alex has a great run out of turn 1. Falling up the outside, back into first, but Yomi is going to have the inside line going into second, which brings Murray into the inside line too. Is Alex going to lose 2 positions here? He's got the inside for 3, and he's going to block off Murray and say, no thank you, I am going to keep second, but Murray is not letting him go. Murray is all over his back, which is freeing Yomi. Yomi and Murray and Alex are just battling it out left and right.
It's some brilliant battling here as well. We've got like it's just close racing everywhere on this track. It's brilliantly racing. We are seeing Murray here just bide his time, letting them all battle, letting them set their tyres out, and then towards the end he might strike and try and get past everyone.
This has been a great battle up in the front and the midfield as well. You see James, Ollie, Darren, and Bevan all right up against each other. James is trying to break up a little bit of the draft. He's about 6/10 up on Ollie. But Darren is just... Oh, there goes Bevan down the inside of Darren into turn 1. Not going to be able to get the move done this lap. Going to have to back out there. Smart decision to back out there, because you don't want to send it up the inside there and ruin your race, ruin Darren's race. Bevan's already on that recovery drive, as we saw earlier on the lap 1 incident. Great recovery drive all the way up into 7th already. He has a chance to move into the top 5 if he plays his cards right. As we're back up on the lead pack here, Alex is right on the back of Yomi Scott. Alex looking on the inside of 6. Yomi gets a little bit wide, but not too bad. That's going to carry plenty of momentum down the straight. You see that draft working very well for Alex and for Murray as well. If you remember, it wasn't too long ago, Murray was about 2.5 seconds back of these guys. So the fighting between them has really brought him back into the picture here.
And speaking of fighting, it appears that Alex is going to go for the inside here. Can Yomi stick it around the outside like Alex did earlier?
Well, Alex lost his position but was able to jump back in line and defend against Murray, who looks like he's looking at the inside on Yomi, but Yomi's going to do the same thing. These front 2 runners have both given up the position the other, but have both managed to block off Murray. So Murray is just kind of biding his time, but he's got a great draft coming up the hill into turn 5. See if he can get around Yomi this time. The problem for Murray, the draft is so strong that him sitting in the third of this pack here is kind of putting him in the back end of the DRS train almost. Let's see if Murray can get a little bit of a slipstream here. Did Yomi get an off track? Did he have to have a slowdown? He really got out wide there. I wonder what happened.
Has he used too much fuel? Battling maybe. That could be the case. Speaking of battling.
Here comes Bevan on... Was that Darren or is that Ollie?
That's Darren.
That's Darren. Okay, so Bevan and Darren, and it looks like Ollie has gotten past James. Oh, no, James and Ollie are fighting it out. James has the inside line coming into 2. He should be able to block it off coming into 2. As Ollie gets very wide there. But he's able to bring it back in. Like I said, you can really double apex that curve. As we see Murray looking on the inside of turn 5 of our leader, Alex. This is the first time that Murray's had a chance at the front podium spot. Murray is unable to make the move through there, but he's going to have a great draft down the main straight into turn 1. We'll see if he can make the move stick in the turn 1, 2, and 3.
This is truly difficult to keep spectating here. You gotta keep jumping everywhere to follow the race, and so many battles everywhere. When one person goes to the pass, it feels like everyone on the track does as well. Bit of a bump there from Murray into that corner there.
Yeah, Murray definitely had to back out on that one.
We see the R side by side again here as well.
Yeah, Ollie back up the inside turn 1, making the move on James Parfit, dropping James back into 5th place. And I don't know if James is going to have the inside run this time. He is going to get it, but I think he might be a little bit too far. As Ollie tries to go for the double apex, he is able to hold it through the inside of 3, coming into 4 here. Ollie is able to keep the move. As we see Bevan right behind him, trying to catch up to the back of James. He wants to get involved in this fight as James is going up the inside. Turn 5. It looks like Murray has gotten around Alex, but let's keep watching this battle first. Or we're going to jump back up there. Yeah, here we go. James and Ollie duking it out. Bevan right behind them. Closely behind them is Darren Sharples. Then we have Thomas Barzik in 8th, Sean Clark in 9th, and Dave Noonan in 10th. In 11th place is Paul Lusto, who was out of the race. We see Ollie thinking about the inside, but not quite going to get there.
As we are going to go on a replay now and just see how Murray managed to make it past Alex eventually. Slowdown there, unfortunately. Looks like a slowdown.
Murray has just been taking advantage of these guys' mistakes. Just been consistent. But good thing for Alex is he's still in 2nd place. So how many points does first and 2nd place get?
Truthfully, I can't fully remember. I think I worked out the gap between 1st and 3rd would be the championship maker between these two. But I can't remember the points exactly.
So as long as Alex, I believe you said as long as Alex finishes in the top 3, he's going to win the championship?
Yes, I believe so.
Even if Murray wins this race and he's in 3rd?
I believe that might be closer. I think it might just be Murray by 1 point.
Okay. So Alex has to be 2nd place, no lower than 2nd place if Murray wins.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is just going to throw an extra wrench in this. We see Murray has really got some good speed coming through 3 and 4 here, but that draft just so strong in these MX5s. Alex thought about coming down the inside here of turn 5, thought about it again. Right back on the bumper here, and we'll see if he's going to be able to make a move. Murray gets a little wide, a little compromised. Alex is going to have a great exit and strong draft coming up the hill. We'll see if Alex dips down coming up the hill. Is he going to go for it? He is thinking about it, but he backs out. Not going to try it into turn 1. Now he's got Yomi right on his bumper as well, so don't forget about Yomi Scott here. You see here, Murray is going to lead them into 2. Keeping that inside line through 2 into 3. No move to be made for Alex into 3. Coming up into 4. He is right on his bumper. We'll see if this draft can carry him up the hill. Less than a 1/10 and a half. He's going for the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Not this time. No, he's thinking about it. He's going up the inside of turn 5. See if he can make it stick. There it is. Back in the 1st place, Alex Williams. And that gives Yomi an opportunity to come back at Murray. He thought twice about it, though. Murray was able to cover it off. Now they are all going to have the draft. Murray and Yomi are going to have the draft. They are so close together. Don't think anybody's going to be able to make it. Oh, we're going to see if Yomi can make the move into turn 1. He's taking the inside, but he backs out. Murray cuts it off, and that is going to be 2nd place for Murray. Coming into 1st place, Alex got a little wide off of turn 1. Compromised his exit, but he's going to be able to save it with the inside line into turn 2. Murray had the outside, and now he's going to jump back inside to cover off Yomi. Oh, this is exciting, man. Wow, these guys really battle it out.
Yeah, it's really brilliant when they all pack up together and they start battling like this. It's constant, it's never ending, it's just brilliant. It does seem like the 3rd place person is struggling to make passes stick. It does seem like, from what I've noticed. Maybe the fact he got drafted a car ahead that makes him hard to pass, but it does seem like Yomi is struggling to get past Murray even when Murray gets a compromised line.
Yeah, it was the same thing for Murray. Murray didn't get past Yomi until Yomi had a mistake and had to. I think we had the slowdown penalty. Um, so yeah, it's almost like the being the back end of that little DRS train. You never want to be the last guy in a DRS train. So we see Alex is taking the inside. Murray thought about the outside, but there's not really a move to be made there. As Yomi getting up real close to the back end there. Gonna have the inside line coming into 2. This is Yomi's chance. Yomi's gonna have it. Is he gonna send it? He gets wide, but he's still able to hold the line. Double apex into 2. Murray's coming back at him. They're gonna go 2 wide into 3. Yomi has got it covered off. Yomi into 2nd place. But Murray is not going anywhere.
Of course, right as that happens, I jinx it and then Joey makes it through.
Murray right on the back here. It's released Alex a tiny bit, but not enough to really get away from these guys. That draft is so strong. So we see them both going wide there. Did they both? Is this? What is going on here? Was that to break the draft? As we see Yomi coming in the very last second to cut off Murray. That was close. Not sure why they both. I guess it was the draft.
I wonder if Alex got loose out of the corner and that's what caused that. With that situation there.
And Yomi had to stay in the draft or else he was going to be compromised.
Yeah, that's possibly what happened.
We see here, looks like Ollie is right on the back of James. They have been staying stationary in these 4th, 5th, and 6th positions for a while now. Darren has fallen off the back. Bevan has also fallen off a little bit, but he still has an opportunity to stay in this draft. You see action all the way up and down the field here.
I was watching the intervals and it did appear that for a couple of laps at least there was a big amount of chance of Bevan getting past Ollie, but it appears that Bevan has lost his tyres maybe now and has fallen back up as we do go into the white flag here as well.
Oh yeah, we didn't even all this action. I've been losing pace or losing track of time. So yeah, we have 38 seconds left in the race. Will this lap? The next lap should be the white flag. Is that correct?
This lap is white flag, I believe.
Oh,
they
this lap is white
flag
flag.
left. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is going to be our white flag lap as we see Ollie on the outside of James in the turn 1. James is going to push him off, defend hard. But Ollie is not going anywhere. As we see, our championship leader is 7/10 ahead of Yomi Scott, who's got Murray right over his bumper as Darren is trying to take the inside here. There's action everywhere. I don't know where to look. We see Yomi on the inside of turn 5 on Murray. Coming down the final stretch. Alex is going to be your winner as Murray gets contact. Oh, Yomi touches him, and that's going to send Alex into the championship win. Oh, Bevan did get by Ollie there, and James is going to keep 4th place.
Yomi gave it back. Yomi gave it back.
Yomi gave it back. That was just tough fighting there. I want to say that was a racing incident on the final lap. We'll see if we can get a replay of that momentarily, but we got everybody coming across the finish line. James is able to keep 4th, Bevan 5th, Ollie 6th. Darren Sharple's coming across now in 7th. Thomas Barzak is going to come across in 8th. Sean Clark, few seconds up the road, coming out of turn 6 now. He is going to finish up 9th place. Devin Noonan just behind him in 10th. And rounding out your top 11 was Paul Lusto, who unfortunately is out of the race. But that was an exciting trip around the Red Bull ring. Oh man, that was crazy. I was not expecting it to be that crazy. They started kind of backing up there, but let's go over these race results. Not only did he win the race, but he is now officially your championship winner. Alex Williams finishing P1 and locking up the championship. Murray Luker P2 as well as the championship. And going with the flow, Yomi Scott in 3rd, finishing P3 in the championship. Then we have James Parfit, who appears to have won his bet with Dave Noonan. Parfit finishing off in 4th place. Bevan Thompson in 5th, Darren Sharple 6th. Thomas Barzak comes around in 7th, Sean Clark 8th, Ollie Pimley in 9th, Dave Noonan 10th, and Paul Lusto in 11th place. That was exciting. Tyler, I was not expecting it to be that crazy. That was awesome.
Yeah, you saw them all split up about 25 minutes, about 10 minutes in, and you were getting concerned and not going to make battles, and then suddenly they're all together again, and they're all battling again. It was fantastic. We are going to have quick replays now of the last couple of laps, with first that one with the Ollie and Bevan Thompson battle going into the last lap.
Bevan Thompson and Ollie. Bevan had the inside line at a 2. Ollie did have the inside in a 3, but they're going too wide. He wasn't able to make it stick. Shut the door. Devin says, thank you very much. I'll see you later. I'm going to be the king of the hill on this lap. Goodbye. Great move.
We are just going to go into the lap replay against the Murray Lucas crash as well.
And this is the last lap. They are going side by side into turn 5. Just tough racing. The trees are going to be in the way. Oh.
It did seem to be Yomi's fault, in fairness.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. That was close there, but yeah, I think it was a little bit more on Yomi there. But Yomi said sorry about that. Let's him go back by Murray into second place. Are we gonna be able to get anybody on for a chat after that race?
We'll see if James is able to. Usually he is around for the chat afterwards. We'll see if he's able to.
James? Who wants to talk to James?
It's worth noting that I believe James actually might be possibly 6th place in the championship from this as well.
Well, that was definitely a great fight there, and he was ahead of Ollie and Bevan. Bevan's probably going to keep 5th, so Stephen Hilton and James Kersap weren't here.
I believe Ollie got a penalty at the end of the race because he finished 9th place, even though he was 6th for quite a while.
Ollie? Oh, okay.
Because Ollie did come across the line just behind Bevan, but he finished in 9th place in terms of the race. So, to bring the results, check this now. He must have got a penalty in the last lap from the battling.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. So let's go back through these. Alex Williams 1st place, Murray Luker 2nd, Yomi Scott 3rd, James Parfit 4th, Bevan Thompson 5th, Darren Sharples moves up into 6th, Thomas Barzak 7th, Sean Clark 8th, Ollie Pimley 9th, Dave Noonan 10th, and Paul Lusto 11th. So that is going to be very close between Darren and James. Darren is ahead of James by 2 points.
Yes, I believe this might be James's taking that place, but James Kersop and Stephen Hilton cannot make it tonight, so I believe that might be 6th place for James.
Depends on how many points a 4th place is, because he is currently 11 points shy of 6th place Stephen Hilton.
Yeah, James appears to have lost the breakdown, so unfortunately as I report that, I'll be advised to wait until Murray confirms these scores. Do not go past speculation completely. It's possible we are wrong. My maths is not always my strong suit when it comes to broadcast maths.
Well, I have to take my shoes off and take my socks off to be able to count over 20, or I'm sorry, count over 10, so anything over 20, I got no luck. I'm sorry.
Understandable. I don't believe we're going to get anything from James, unfortunately. He's going to be gone for a bit of a walk after his close race and probably sweaty getting back into it.
Well, that was a great effort by James, though. He had that incident on lap 1 and was able to fight his way all the way back into the top 4. That was a great race by James. Great racing all up and down the field, especially Alex Murray and Yomi there. They had a great battle for 1, 2, and 3 going throughout the majority of the second half of the race. And then, of course, we had that second battle between Ollie, Bevan, Darren, and James. That was awesome racing up and down the field. I'm so glad I got to be here with you today, Tyler. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was a brilliant last race. It was a good send-off for the MX5s. It was a great race. The best part of it was seeing James battle back, seeing Bevan battle back. Nobody gave up and just lied down that race. Everyone just battled back into it. We saw the three-way battle between James, Bevan, and Ollie. All of them had their issues at the start of the race. Ollie started from the back. Bevan had that spin, and James had that crash coming out of the last corner, trying to avoid Bevan's incident. So yeah, it's brilliant to see them all finishing in the top 6.
Yes, it was.
Because of Ollie's penalty.
There's James. How you doing, James? Great
Found
race,
James.
bud.
I'm alright, mate. I'm a bit of a sweaty, sweaty individual at the moment. I need to
I can
have
imagine.
a shower.
Yeah, we saw you. You had that incident turn 6 in the beginning of the race, and you were able to fall all the way back to what, 8th or 9th, and then make your way all the way back into 4th place. Great recovery drive.
Yeah, I'm just watching it now. I think I'm not quite sure if me and Paul, Bevan spun, and I come around the outside. I was on the grass. I was trying to stay out of the way, and I I think we just connected, and I can't. I don't,
From my
if that is my fault, then sorry, Paul Lusto, for that one.
if my eyes don't deceive me, it looked like Paul didn't really have any place to go, and you were just there. I think that was more of a racing incident. Yeah, because Bevan spins right in front of you. You're off the track, and Paul doesn't really let you back on. But I think that was more of a racing incident than anything
Yeah,
else.
we were chatting. I was trying to say move over because I had nowhere to go apart from the grass. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, looking at it, I was trying to come on, and I don't know if it was my fault. Then I apologise to Paul. But it was an epic season. Well done to Murray for putting it on there from the guys at the UKSR. But yeah, all in all, it was a good season. Enjoyed it.
That was a brilliant finish. That was a great race that ended up. It looks like your championship winner is going to be Alex Williams with Murray in second and Yomi Scott in third. And then, do you know how many points it is for fourth place?
It is. I don't know. I've got to find all the rules and regulations out in front of me because I haven't got them to hand. 2 seconds.
I have been looking for them, but I couldn't find them, unfortunately.
So fourth place is 23 points.
23 points. So 72 plus 23, you are going to be up at 95 points.
Yes.
And that is going to put you into sixth place because Bevan and Ollie are, well, no, Ollie should probably stay in either fourth or fifth. So yeah, that should put you into sixth place. Yeah, congratulations. Especially since you won your bet there with, was it Dave that you had to bet with? Can you explain that one for me?
Well, Dave Noonan, me and Dave were talking in a Discord, and basically we bet each other £5 to be donated to charity of whoever got in front. And I think we were at,
You were dead even going into the last race.
Yeah, and I've got, well, if these scores are correct, Alex has won, Murray's second, Yomi's third, Ollie's fourth, Bevan's fifth, Steve Hilton is still sixth, so I'm seventh. Darren is on the same points, but I'm above him in the standards, apparently, as me. And Dave Noonan's behind me. So, it was close. I had to clear Darren. I knew I had to clear Darren to even get in a remote shot of being past him. But, yeah, we'll have to see how it all pans out.
Well, that was an exciting race. I'm so glad I got to come see this and commentate here with Tyler because that was a heck of a race. Many battles up and down the field, so lots of excitement.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go and watch it back, guys, and I'll leave you to close it out. And thank you very much for doing it.
Well, thanks for joining us, James. Great
No
race,
worries.
and talk to you soon. Well, Tyler, did you want to add anything here to the broadcast before we go?
Just thank you for all for putting on some great racing throughout the season, putting on some amazing battles. It's been brilliant to watch throughout the season.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you for everybody out there watching it, and thank you for all our drivers for giving us all that great racing. Thank you for the Red Bull Ring for providing this great racetrack for us, and thank you for tuning in. But that's going to be it for the UK Sim Racers Wednesday League. Championship is over. Season is over. We'll see you next time they start up. Tyler, do we know when the next season starts?
I'm not sure if it's when we cover, I'm not actually sure how the season's looking through next season. I believe it might be a different series taking over the slot, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Well, we will keep everybody informed as soon as we know a little bit more of the details. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we are going to be out of here. So y'all have a great evening, great afternoon, great morning, whatever time of the world it is for you. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great night.
Just as a bit of a outro note, this is more pure for James. Thank you for having me in the broadcasting company. It's been great having you. Unfortunately, I am leaving now. It's my last stint. I'm moving on to just to have a more outgoing time, basically. But yeah, it's been brilliant doing all this. It's been amazing. Thank you, James, for teaching me how to do it. Thank you, James, for everything. Basically, it's been amazing. All the series have been brilliant. UK Sim Racing, you've been amazing. UK Sim Racers, the MX5 League last season, that was the best MX5 racing I've ever seen. P Cup as well. Everything. FBL has been brilliant throughout the season as well. I've been loving watching the FBL season. But yeah, thank you all for having me, and thank you, James, for the opportunity. I hope my production was up to standards.